Hello everyone and welcome back to Alex at the desk. And guess what? I've got a brand new bottle of PVA glue, but we're not going to be using that today. Oh, but today I've got something to build. In fact, I've got some things to build. Yes, welcome back everyone, and welcome back to Alex at the Desk with me, Alex at the Desk. Got my Station Master pin, the new Station Master at Quick. It's a work in progress. But I have here some things to build, some kits. So these were a Christmas present from last Christmas that obviously I've been very busy, so I haven't got around to making. But I have some Cromwell MkIV tanks. So I have one already that I made, which I need to dig out and find. If I can, I can do a comparison. But basically, we're on the south coast in Beaglington, and when we're operating in wartime, we need some defence. Especially now we have more than one seaside area that we need to defend. So we need some extra protection and maybe some preparation for Operation Overlord. So we've got these tank kits here. There's 3 of them. They're all the same. And I'm going to attempt to sort of make them in a sort of, I don't know, production line sort of assembly fashion, in such that I've got an idea about what I want to do. So I'm going to take all the kits, I'm going to take all the bits out, I'm going to spray them with some spray, and then I'm going to attempt to paint like the main parts green, and then start to assemble it and finish off the colours, and we'll see how we go. As long as I don't manage to mess it up by confusing the pieces, because I obviously will have 3 sets. I have a limited amount of time, so I'm going to attempt to make all of them at the same time. So it could get very confusing. So I've got this little instruction sheet here, which you sort of think, oh, it's probably not that bad, you know. Simple sort of kit. What level is it here? Normally they say what level it is. Skill 1, so we should be alright. But as you can see, we've got the little folds out, and we've got the basics, which is the wheels, which is quite fiddly. I remember that. And then it gets a bit more complicated. But, you know, it should be good fun. Obviously, we split up sections. I won't be doing every single piece on camera, unless that's something you want me to do in future with another kit. There is a little bit of history here, which I'll show on camera, because I'm not going to read it out. But basically, it's one of the most successful British tanks of the Second World War. So, should be something good to build. So, like I said, I'm going to turn the camera around and we can have a quick look before we get onto the building. So yes, here we have the Cromwell MkIV tank. And with a top speed of 40 miles an hour, apparently, it's faster than some early railway trains. It's not bad for a big, massive piece of metal. So we've got our box here. Is this the one? This is the one that I've robbed the instructions from. Got our transfers here, transfer paper. It's handy to get a paintbrush with this as well. So it shows those paintbrushes. And I've got glue and paint. Now, in the past, I've found that the paints I've had that have come with these kits haven't been brilliant, so we'll see how they go, but I've got my tub here of Revel paints that I might have to use. Obviously now, this is quite a dark grey plastic, so that's why I'm hoping that the primer is just going to give it a nice surface to apply green to, and then I'll just spend ages like painting green onto it. So I've got one pack here. And if I open the other one, and handily enough, on the back of these, you've got like a paint guide, which shows you how to paint it. Now, I'm just looking there, and apparently the colour 29 only gets used once, and that is for, if I put it into focus, the handles up here, sorry, twice, the shovel and this thing here. So that's going to be a very fine thing to paint, but as you can see, it's generally green. So basically, once I've spray painted it grey, I can paint all the sprues green. I can paint the bits that need to be black. I can cut it out, touch it up on each one so that they look good, and then it should be easy enough to assemble in the right colours, won't be too difficult. That's the idea. I know it's probably not going to work out that way, and obviously you know how I can be when it comes to glue. So we're going to see how it goes, and obviously there's my third one, and there's my extras. So if I have 3 lots of useless paint, it won't matter so much because I will have some useful glue. And there's my transfers again. Right, so let's take these outside and get them sprayed up. Right, so I've got this little paint station set up, and I've got these sprues here, and hopefully nothing falls off in the meantime. So it comes in 2 sheets. You've got the tops of the tank, the bottom of the tank, your tracks, your wheels, all that jazz. We've got a couple of over here now. So obviously I'll do one at a time, but we'll just have to sort of, I don't know, put these plastic bits here down to put some of them on, because we'll have to leave them, and it's we're going to leave these dry, and then we can take them back to the desk and apologise for the rich people in the helicopters flying overhead. It's that time of year, unfortunately. But we will take them inside and we will paint them green, and hopefully we'll have some nice tank-looking parts by the end of that. Oh, and some of the wheel bits are a bit black, but anyways, yeah. Right, let's head back inside to the desk. Okay, so we're back here at the desk, and I've got the dry pieces now that I've spray painted, and we've got the guide here to the colours. And I've got 3 paintbrushes here. They're all number 2s apparently. They all look slightly different, despite the fact they all came in the same boxes. And see if I can get focus on them. One has like a square tip, one has a pointy tip, and one has a little plastic thing up. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, so I've got 3 of those. So I can use just one hopefully for this colour. I've got some kitchen paper up there to wipe my brush on, and I've got this painting guide, which is fairly straightforward. We need to find 159, which is the green, and paint all the green bits green and the black bits black. So the black is number 33. That is to tank tracks. Man, that's it. Pretty much. And then obviously the brown for the top. I'm not sure what 53 is for. Oh, I see, no, 33 is for the sides of the tank tracks and the wheels. And then the grey 53 is for that. So we're just going to check out one of these and find 159 and see what kind of state it's in. I've had these a while now, and I don't know that they're actually going to be in any sort of usable condition. Just going to pop that under there. Well, it looks like it should be all right. So we switch over to sort of speeded up film, and I shall paint this. Although we'll just give it a mix and apply some first. We'll see if it's all right. There we go. Right, got some on my finger, so we'll take that. Oh yeah, lovely. Right, so got our big surface here. We'll do that one, and right, so we've got our now dry green pieces, and we need to paint some black onto the outsides of all of these wheels. So I've got 3 of those to do, and we're just going to give our black a bit of a mix. So screwdriver there. Ooh. And we bend this back. Let's see now, just bit of a mix. And then pop that over there anyways. And a brush here, and I can dip into the paint on the stick. And we're just going to go around the rims of the wheels and make them look black. And hopefully it will come out neatly and it won't be too much of a mess. And that's the last one on that one. Okay. So that's how we want them looking, and so I'm going to get on and do the other two of these sheets now. Right, so that's the black done, and now we can just go on to do the tank tracks. So obviously there's two of these per tank. Just pop the screwdriver on there. Come on. Doesn't want to open. There we are. Okay, that's a little bit. It's very watery, this one. In fact, it's just it's incredibly thin. I'm just going to give it a mix to see. Right. And we're just going to brush it in and paint the tracks. Here we are. Right, that's those two done. Right. So now I'll just go and do the other two. Right, so the black paint is dry and the tracks are dry. So now we're going to attempt to build one of these tanks. And so I'm going to do three variations. I'm going to build it normally. I'm going to build it with the spikes in the front. I'm going to build one with the spikes and the tall exhaust thing on it. So first of all, we've got step A, which involves cutting things off the sprue. I don't know if I'll be able to do with the scissors or do with a craft knife. So we've got those separated and we can now glue them together. So obviously there's a more flatter part on one end and a steeper part there. And we've got that piece goes there and that piece goes there. So we get our glue and presumably run it along the side of here. And there's some markings here where it fits up against there, like that. Perfect. Right. We are on a roll. I'm going to put the glue on this piece now. There we are. That's that glued together. And then we now have to do the next part, which is a bit more confusing. So we need 9A, which is somewhere around here. This piece, is it? Looks to be 9A. There we go. And now this end has to go on the end with the chunky end. And it goes on like that. Somehow. Here. How? Like that? Is that right? I guess. I think. So we put glue on these bits. And this bit here. And that, I think that piece sits in to the middle there. Right. Now, there we go, that's right. Now I'm covered in glue already. It's a good start, isn't it? Right, now, the next part is 23A, which is another sort of big piece here. So you've got those bits there. That goes on the front of here somewhere. I think there. Like that. Ha! There we are. Right, that goes on like that. And then we have the very, very annoying part of putting on all of these wheels. So I'm going to cut out all these wheels now. Right, it's at this point that I realised that I probably only need to paint one half of the wheels. I only need 26. So that's these pieces here for doing the cogs and the wheels and things. Right, there we go. That's that. So we've got our piece here. So we're just going to do this side. So what I need to do is I need to put. How do they go on? Do some of them have? Aha! I see. Some of them have a hole on that side, so they go on there. Oh, probably would have been a good idea to put those on before gluing it onto the side, maybe, or wait until the glue had dried because it's not working. Yeah, see, that's. See, the problem now is that because I put paint on it, they're not gonna go on. So we've made a bit of a critical error there, but we'll see now. That one's gone on fine. That one's not too good. Sorry, you can hear the kids talking in the hallway, because they're not in school today. Right, come on, get in there. And then another one. And that one goes on like that. And then we have the other part of it, which has a hole in the back. Put the glue on that. And stick that onto there like that. Aha, there we go. Now. And then the other end, we have our weird little raised disc things and our wheels. So they fit together somehow. I think that one is the one with the hole in it goes on first. Like that. And then the other one goes on a bit like that. And then the tracks go on. So it goes on there, like that. Oh, a toothed gear, I guess. That is kind of like that, isn't it? That is there. That's how that's meant to go on, I think. But it's also supposed to go around the wheels on that side. And then I'm supposed to put the other pieces on, but that's supposed to fit around that side too. What was I saying at the start about this should be an easy kit because it was level 1? It's pretty much how we want it, I think. Then we can stick the wheels on that have this no hole in it. That. Reattaches to that. So we'll come back to this when I've done the other side. Eventually I got the wheels on and they're sort of drying. I don't know if they're going to fall off. I've got this piece here, 36B. This is going to attach to here. So I guess I need to put glue on these pieces because that's what's going to attach to. And we just stick that on like that, so that's too far forward. It goes on here somehow, like that, is it? But up against those pieces, it's not a perfect fit because I made it so badly. This piece here, I don't know. Yeah, there's an extra plate there, but this piece I think maybe needs to be higher up. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm doing, to be honest. Right. That. There we go. That's a bit better in a sense that it's still in one piece. And then we have a sort of machine gun bit here. So we put a bit of glue on here, presumably. And try and keep it in focus for you. And that goes in, there's a socket there. And then that has to fit on the front of there, like that. So put a bit of glue on here. Oh dear, that's too much glue. Never mind. We'll brush it inwards. Like I said, I can always go over the paintwork afterwards. This is supposed to fit into the hole somehow. Maybe it's upside down. Yeah, that's better. It doesn't help also that the gun bent when I was taking it off the sprue. So, yeah, they're not going to be just shooting very much, to be honest, because the gun's broken. Right, now that's that bit done. Maybe it's a battle-hardened tank, you know. And then we've got a piece that goes on the back to cover this big old gaping hole in the back of the damn thing. That is on there like that, because that has something to do with the exhaust or something. I think there's like a plate that goes on the top of that, and then the next bit is to fit all the fiddly little annoying bits to the front of the tank. All these pieces, I believe. Right, so I'm just fitting some of the smaller details. I'm not showing all of them because there's lots of them, but I've got this little horseshoe shaped ring here, and it's got to go onto this piece here. And they're very delicate and they're very small, but there you go. This one's actually kind of hanging down. I think I can do the same for that one without, you know, ruining it, but there you go, that's not too bad. And I've added this tow bar as well, and I've added the lights to the front of it. See, there's a bit of a problem here, and that's where our broken gun is. So yeah, that's those details added. I've got to add some more of these little rings to the front. This whole thing's not really gone spiffingly well, but yeah, I don't know which way around this goes. I think the slant goes away from the thing, so put our glue into the hole. And then we've got these bits that go to protect the front of the where the lamps are. So these are little pieces that you don't even know if you'd be able to see. there we are, the hook thing. That's got to go into the front of the tank. So I'm now going to change the focus again. Zoom in and try and do this. So yeah, that's a bit of glue on the end of it, and it goes on to there like that and falls off the tank. Then it goes back on, so we can just put it in place. Oh my god, this is so difficult. Come on. That's not too bad. And get the screwdriver and kind of tilt it up a bit to make it to the bottom. There's an eager piece there, it's already stuck to the glue. I'll just do the rest of these. Right, so we've got some bits to attach to this side now. So where's that long toolbox there? It goes on this piece here. Somewhere. Whoops, too much glue. Oh, stick that back there. It's kind of knocked everything over at the front now. But just getting these silly things in the right place as well. There we go. Right. And then another one of these long pieces. This was actually broken. It didn't come off the sprue particularly well. Just jump over that bit a bit. There. Right. Sorry, I keep forgetting that my hands are probably in the way all the time. Right, that's there. And then we have the back part. So we've got this cover here, which goes on the back of the tank. Sort of like, I think it's meant to be the exhaust, because there's a bit that we're going to fit to the top of that afterwards. That piece go on. Look, that one actually has kind of gone on roughly in the right place. Not perfect, but it's better than some of the pieces on this wonky old tank. And so that's that piece done. And I've got some other little bits here. They go on the back of here, on the back of the tank crate. So it goes up there. That one goes there, like that, sticks to that a little bit, and then that one, that's those bits on. Right, so we've now got these bits to fit to the side of the tank, and they just go on the front, and they kind of hide some of my errors, hopefully. They kind of go on the front here. Alongside there like that. Hopefully that will cover that and make it look not quite so bad. And once we get some more paint on that, hopefully that'll show that better. And then say I've got another piece here that goes to the back. That's just going to be glued on like that. I think it's not really gonna stick flat because that cog is in the wrong place, but we can try and make it work. Yeah, there we go, like that. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, anyways, it's not too bad. In a manner of it being awful, we can just, you know, it's always good if you just add a bit more glue. You know, it's kind of all right there. Right, now do the other side. The other side looks a bit neater, to be honest. It doesn't look quite so bad. I've got the curved piece. Put some glue on that. Put that on there. Put that to the front, like so. And then I've got another one here of the back pieces. Here we are. That's those bits glued on. Right. Now, I think the last part to do for this is actually, I was supposed to be putting on the spiky plough, but I've just noticed in the instructions there's a bit where it's like optional. You can put it on, you can put on the hoops, and I've kind of already glued the hoops on. And as you can see, I've managed to attach it. I just attached it over the top of the hoops, and actually it's kind of helped the glue hold a bit better on the thing. So you can see up close now, you can see a bit more of how I've managed to glue this masterpiece together. So that's all that done. So the next thing to do will be to start on the gun turret and add the tall exhaust thing at the back. Right, so it's another day now, and I've got to attach a wheel that's fallen off again. That can go up there for now. Now we have to do the turret, which there's a whole page about. So we have to find 5A and 9B. Right, there we are. That's as good as that's going to go in. And then that fits into this aperture here, I believe. So, get a bit of glue. There. We've got the long side as this side, and the hole on that side. And that goes in there like that. And then a bit more glue on there. And this piece goes in like that. So we have that piece constructed properly, hopefully. Right, and then we've got the turret thing, gun thing, the barrel of the gun, which actually is broken off one of my other ones. So that was going to go in there. Now we're just going to stick that in. It's not clear that side, and that goes in like that. Right, and drop a bit of glue on the inside of there. There. Right. That's that piece done. Then we have to get out our actual piece here. There we are. Right, that's that bit done. And then we have to stick the side pieces on. So we've got our side pieces here, and they've got pieces that are supposed to sit into the sides. This has got a little lip on it, and that basically we're going to put the glue onto the lip and the side and place that on like that. Right, that's there, like that. And then please stay stuck. That there. There's another panel like that. So yeah, the camera died there, but I have the panel on here. I've added this box up here, and we've got this kind of looking pretty good. So I've got to attach the bit with the actual gun on it to this now, which I'm going to do by filling this with glue and sticking this in, and I have to put it in the right way up. Does it go on the left or the right? Oh. Right, well I think I've actually put the turret in upside down. But you know, wouldn't expect anything less on this build, would you? I had such high hopes when I started this. I have extra glue because it's just going to fall apart. Right. So while that monstrosity glues, I've got the body and all of its crapness, and I'm going to attach this to the back of it. We've got the tank turret here, should fit in, and well, I mean, I suppose is it meant to be angled like that? You can't turn it more because, like, the picture on the instructions here shows, right, zoom out, it shows that we've got the hole there with the locating holes either side there, and the bottom bit they're off center, so presumably I have to locate it and turn it, but either that doesn't work with the design, or more likely I am crap at building this kit, because as I try to return it, everything's trying to come off. Right, do you know what? I think we'll just stick it down like that, and that'll do. Put loads of glue on it there, line up the holes, and stick it like that. There we go. Right, all that can dry, then we can go over it with some paint, do the transfers, and be rid of the damn thing. Right, so they've got that assembled, and it is quite obvious that the colour of some of the paint does not match between the two different pots that I've used to paint it, which is, you know, kind of funny, because they were all bought at the same time, but there is clearly two different colours there. One is a shinier kind of colour, and one is a much more matte colour. And I think this later one is the more matte finish. So I've actually thrown away my kitchen paper in the meantime, but there we go. Right, so now I'm going to attempt to paint this over where all the grey areas are, and just kind of, you know, make it look a bit neater, and all one colour, without going over the black or the silver. And I was going to say, yeah, the what's it called, the construction of this has not been as smooth as I would have liked, but as you can see, it's getting painted there. You probably don't need to see me painting again, so I'll show you what it looks like when it's dry and we're ready to do the transfers. Right, you may see now that we've got some water here because we're going to be doing the transfers, and I've got my transfer paper here, just to knock the camera everywhere. So we're going to put them into the water and hope that they get nice and damp. And we can slide them off. And we've got a guide over here on the box, if I tip up the camera slightly, of where they're supposed to go on the tank. So I'm supposed to put one of the stars on the forward part of the tank here, and I'm supposed to put one on the back of this bit here. So I think I'll start by putting one on the... It might be evident that I have no idea what I'm doing when I'm doing this, but... Yeah, that's that one. And then there's supposed to be some text or something. Number 4. Oh, I've put the wrong one on. Yeah, we need you back. That's that one I want with all the text on it. So the front of that's starting to come together now. Got to do another number on the side of this part. Thankfully I can see those ones. That goes on like that. There we go, that's that one on. And then, so I've done either side of that. I've got text that needs to go on the front splasher. It's upside down. No worries, we'll just turn it around. And finally we just have to add in this star on the back and make sure the point is at the top. Like so. There we are, and I'll show you what it's like when it's all dry. And there we have it, the finished piece. So this is kind of like what it's meant to look like on the box and on the back. And this is what it looks like now, with the wheels all kind of falling off. But I have noticed while putting things together, they seem to have leftover parts, which might explain why the wheels didn't go on quite so well. So we start at the back. We've got the turrets and the top going on there. Yeah, see, I can see here these are from step 2. So how I got from step 1 to step 3 without step 2, I'm not entirely sure. Actually, do you know what? I think I might know. Like that. Ha! There we are. Right, that goes on like that. And then we have the very, very annoying part of putting on all of these wheels. So I'm going to cut out all these wheels now. Yes, that would explain it. Oh, I don't mind. So the next ones I put together, I'll make sure I do that step. But I won't be doing that today because I've had quite enough of this particular escapade. But, you know, I've got the transfers are on it. Doesn't look too bad. The colour turned out a lot better. It's going to look all right when it's on the railway, you know, in the background. Yeah, it's got a few little bits here and there. Maybe, like I said, it's just come back from battle or it's been training, whatever, and it's a bit, you know, doffed up. Doing one with a spike on the front's pretty cool. Not done it with that before, and this bit. And I think I have found the other one that I have. Here it is. It's in a different paint job because I obviously used different paint because the paint that came with this one obviously wasn't in great condition. I wouldn't have done it in a different shade otherwise. I can sort of see some of the original paint shining through on that wheel I obviously tried it and didn't like it. You can see how the shovel should be picked out here with the silver and the brown. I haven't got around to doing that on this one. If I can be bothered, I will. I might just leave it until I'm assembling the other ones and do it then. So yeah, I've got this one. This one doesn't even have the piece here. But they should look good dotted around the railway. I'm going to have the other two built. You probably see them on the next episode of like Beaglington-On-Sea, like the next proper episode. That'll probably be like Halloween. But yeah, you can see how it should look on the sides. It's not too bad. So yeah, I think it's alright. So I'll just show you them like parked up on the railway, well, near the railway, just to show you how they look in the wild. Yes, that was the Airfix Cromwell MkIV Tank. And that was the kit that had the paints and the blue with it. So, overall, it came together all right. And, my skills aren't that good. I've been a bit rusty when it comes to doing the Airfix kits. I haven't done one in a while. Like I said, it's only a level 1 kit. It's not too complicated. So I imagine you'll be able to produce something a bit better than mine, than having bits that look like they're about to fall off if it was a real tank. And it was fun when it wasn't stressing me out from my own incapableness or my incompetence. But it's taken a little while to do, and it's looking good. Maybe next time, if I was just building the 1 and not 3, maybe I wouldn't paint it first and then just paint it afterwards. But yeah, no, I think it looks good. It certainly looks good on the railway anyways. And yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave this episode of Alex at the Desk. Thank you very much for joining me, and if you've managed to make it to the end of the episode, thank you for sticking around with me throughout this trial. And I'll be back again soon with another episode, probably finishing off the harbour. So, thank you very much for watching. You've been a wonderful audience. I hope I've been a wonderful Alex, and we'll see you again at the desk for another episode soon. Don't forget you can like, comment, share and subscribe, and there's also the subscribe bubble and the playlist thing. But for now, I'm off. Ta-ra.